Most leaders think their team has a productivity problem. They don't. What they really have is a life problem, which I know sounds dramatic, but in Your Best Year Ever, author Michael Hyatt lays out the 9 domains of life and how they all feed into performance: body, mind, spirit, love, family, community, work, money, and hobbies. Ignore them, and you'll keep solving the wrong problem. So, Your Best Year Ever is primarily a book about goal setting. But the first section of the book goes pretty deep on the psychology of setting goals and why so many people don't achieve theirs. That's where he talks about the 9 domains of life and, importantly for us, how they're all interconnected. Think of these 9 areas like dials on a dashboard. And at various points in our lives, the dials for each life area will go up or down depending on what we're focusing on. You don't need all of them maxed out all of the time. In fact, that's probably impossible. But if one or two of them are blinking red, that's where things start to break down. If you're a leader in an office, you can usually spot the visible signs of somebody struggling in an area of their life. Tired eyes, frustrated sighs, skipping lunch again to get work done. But in remote work, you don't see any of that. So when someone's disengaged or their performance drops, you think of it more just like a work issue. But it's probably not, and you probably have to look further upstream. You're just seeing the downstream impact: missed deadlines, lower energy, and maybe general apathy. Let me give you 3 domains that quietly wreck remote team performance. Number one, the body. Maybe they're not moving, they're not sleeping well, they're not eating right. They roll out of bed straight onto Zoom calls. Energy crashes by 2 p.m. in the afternoon, and you're left wondering why their work is so sloppy. I see this one in my own life. I have weeks where my diet is on point, I'm hitting the gym, I'm out running, and my work output in those weeks is phenomenal. And then I have weeks where I don't get my food prepped. I tell myself I'm too busy to go to the gym, and all of the goals I set in that body domain of life just go off a cliff. The funny thing about those bad weeks is I spend more hours sat in front of my laptop than I do in the weeks when things are going to plan. And I do plenty of busy work, but my actual output on the important things that I need to move the ball forward on, always worse. Okay, number 2 domain that can impact remote workers: community. This is obviously a huge one with remote work. They haven't spoken to another human in 3 days. No water cooler talk, no office banter. That creates disconnection, and disconnection can quickly turn into disengagement. And the third domain is love or family. Maybe they're fighting with a partner or a spouse, or exhausted from parenting solo while working, or frustrated because they're so busy they're missing key moments in their child's life. That emotional strain doesn't stay neatly outside of working hours, it bleeds into everything. Okay, now zoom out. If one or two of those areas are off, how do you think that impacts focus, creativity, and resilience? Exactly. The point here is that work performance depends on what's going on in so many other areas of people's lives. So, what's your job here as a remote leader? You're not their life coach, you can't fix their marriage or cook their meals. But you do need to recognize the reality of the situation. Remote work means the boundary between life and work is thinner than ever, and pretending otherwise just makes you a worse leader. So here's the play. In one-on-ones, carve out time to talk about wider life, not just work issues. Try questions like, what's giving you energy outside of work right now? Or is there a part of your life which feels harder than normal at the moment? And model it yourself. Talk openly about the things that you're working on in each domain. Whether it's sleep, fitness, or being present with your family, you talking about it gives them the permission to do the same. And look for ways that you can flex the business needs to help them increase the dial in those underperforming areas. If they tell you that one of the things that's causing them issues is they feel like they're always checking their phone and notifications when they should be focusing on spending time with a child or loved one, then tell them that you don't expect immediate responses. Give them permission to take some time to reply. This isn't about being soft. This is about understanding the actual levers of performance. Because somebody might not need a whole new productivity system or hours and hours of coaching and monitoring. They might just need to get out for an hour and walk the dog in peace and quiet. Here's the takeaway. The 9 domains of life aren't fluff, they're foundational, and they're all important. Strong life equals strong work. Neglected life equals declining work. Stop looking for workarounds and start looking upstream. Check in with yourself, check in with your team, make sure you're actually fixing the right problem. Catch you in the next one.